Welcome everyone. Menu Plays here with another episode of Songs of Six. I'm not going to do a whole lot about this particular village today. I wanted to go over some things that I learned over this long weekend. I didn't get to record anything because I was on my laptop and away from home, and I just don't have the recording software on that. But so I did want to show you the progress that we've made here accidentally. We can see our population has jumped up to 1.7K, which is a little bit higher than the last time we recorded. And to be honest, I haven't really done all that much. I think so after the fiasco of that last battle, I took out this fence along here, but I also expanded my wall up and around to match this section over here. And I added this new farm section. Probably going to have to add another since the food stores are going down from where they were. But I got up to the 1.7K. Mostly, there were two things that I added. One was this tiny little bathhouse. It's not even that big. 14 people can use it, and when I put that in, about 300 people ran to my village. So that was a little overwhelming, and you have to react quickly to that sort of thing. And the other thing that I did here was I added a place for him to poop finally. So yeah, we pretty much have all the buildings now except for the feasting hall. I don't have a whole lot of awe inspiration going on in the town. Yeah, so not sure where I'm going to go from here, but what I decided I needed to start doing was I needed to start my trade empire. As you can see, I've amassed a fortune of 43,000 in my treasury. But one thing that I noticed when I did this, and this is the reason why I don't know how much longer I'll play this. I might continue playing this one just to hit that 2K mark, just to see what everything looks like at that point. But when I looked at my market when I set up the trade, nobody wants to buy anything. All these zeros. There's just no buyers. So the economy didn't really level out. They're selling everything. They just don't want to buy anything. Very limited. So I set up tools, battle gear, which I seem to have a lot of. That's I guess the advantage of having a small army. Fabric, chairs or furniture, and metal. And I didn't really want to sell those things, but that's all I really could sell. And the furniture, I mean, we're down to 50 cents. So I probably won't be selling that for too much longer. So yeah, that was interesting. But what I did do over the weekend when I wasn't playing Factorio, because version 1.0 of that came out and I hadn't played that for a while. But yeah, so I started a new village and I learned a couple of new tricks, and I wanted to share those new tricks with you. So first thing I want to show you is building sizes. So let's go to, let's say, a weaver workshop. So this efficiency rating, which is affected by the room size and affected by these like auxiliaries that you put in. So I did some playing around, and what I found was that everything is geared towards a room being 20 by 10. Okay. Excuse me. Now you can see the efficiency here starts at 25%, which is fine. And I think that's pretty common for most of the rooms. There might be a couple that start at 33%. But when you get these auxiliaries, okay, and I'll start with the biggest one. So as you can see, it says efficiency is 3,900%. Well, if you have a 10 by 20 room, that efficiency is actually 39%. So if I plop this down, my efficiency of this room will go up to 64%. Okay. So using a 10 by 20 room size makes it pretty easy to figure out how many auxiliaries you need. So if we, so this one's 2400%, so that'll give me what, the 88%? Yeah. So so I've been playing around with that and creating new creating new rooms in my new city that are kind of tied to those numbers. Hang on. I want to do this the right way here. If I put that right on the edge and then do that, okay. And then we can put our loom in. And you can't quite get 2 looms in 8 by 10. I can do, if I go 11 by 20, I can get that second one in here. But so that's a way that you can effectively make rooms relatively efficient. And then the other thing, obviously that's based on a 10 by 20 room. So if I were to say cut this room in half, is that 10? Yeah, okay. So now I have a 10 by 10 room. So for all you math whizzes out there, this doubles. So that's 24%. So what I'll actually get is a 48% increase here. See? From 25 to 73% for the same one. So yeah, it's totally based on room size. So if we take this back up to a 20 by 20, the other thing, let me do, it's not a weaver, it must be the tailor. I want the one that I can do small workbenches. Well, not small, but smaller, thinner. Let's see, yeah, it's this one. So the other interesting thing, you can't put these up against the edge because those chairs block, but you can do this. So you can't put these here because there's no space in here for them to walk around these chairs. But if you go like that, then it fits. So now I'm in a 10 by 20 room, and that's a lot of workbenches. And then these auxiliaries are a little different. I think I need 3 of these. Okay, so that gets me to 97%. Now I could go in here and put in that to bring me to 100% and leave everything else unchanged. Bear with me for a second as we work through the night, because I know it's hard to see these blue lines at night. I did go into the config files for the game and modify I set the interval for nighttime to be the minimum possible value that the game would accept. So this will just take a minute for us to not be in night. I also made it it's always springtime, so I was trying to make the videos a little bit more viewable. Don't tell anybody though, and don't try it at home, because you know I am a professional. Okay, so still with the 20 by 10, we got our auxiliaries in, we're at 97%. So what you can do, and I found this to be really handy, is just take out, say, this square right here. So we still have a path within the room for them to walk around the workbench. And then I take out this one here. And then I do something similar on this side. Again, as long as you're leaving a path that they can walk all the way around. Oh, come on, nighttime. There we go. Spring is in the air. And as you can see, by taking out those little edge squares, my efficiency is already at 99% on this room. So, and I'll go ahead and, let's see, I need to leave that one. So we'll take that row out. And when I take that one out, I can take these out. So I go through and I trim my rooms up as much as I can, as much as I can get away with. And I think that one. There we go. So now I've got the room down to the minimum size that I can have for a room like this. Now, the other thing I noticed was if you hit the back arrows or undo, it'll undo these changes that I made to the room sizes. And if I want to get rid of these, but I don't want to mess up the changes to room sizes, all I have to do is take out these squares to block it. It would make it so that part of the room is blocked, and it takes that away, right? So then I can let's see how far I got to go here to. I was trying to get rid of this one actually. There we go. So we can just modify the room size to take out squares to change that. Okay. So going back to the auxiliaries, I'm going to want at least one of these big ones. Maybe here. Maybe here. So now I'm at 80%. And what I'm trying to do is not use that third large one. I don't really want that. There we go. And then try to adjust the room size to make up the difference. That's only 93. But at any rate, you get the idea. And so you can play around with this, but you start with a 20 by 10 room size. And it makes the math a lot easier. But the nice thing about this, and I'll show you this when I get to my new village, probably in the next episode, is you can stick your torches in these little crevices that you've created. It gives the rooms a little bit more interesting shape, I think. But you can also stick your torches, or you can stick the small awe statues in here. Or, maybe because we've cleared out a larger area here, you can use a larger piece of awe. Excuse me. Because I don't have any of that in the city at the moment, other than, right by the front gate of Castle Minya. So, yeah, that's a pro tip. Not that I'm a pro, but, it is a tip. One other thing that I discovered, and I can't show you on this map because I've gone way too far and I've killed off all the animals on the map. But when you're starting a new city and you're struggling to get those Globdien eggs, it is Globdien, right? Yeah. When you're struggling to get those eggs and you start off with like maybe 10 or something like that, you have your city center, your quick start base if you watched my first episode. So you have this small square area where you basically built. If you go out onto your mini map and you find all those little white specks, and you find some Globdien in a general area, then what I did was I went out and hopefully you find some that are kind of close to home, and I quickly put a fence around them, right? So I made my own pasture. I don't really want to build that. So I made a pasture around them, trapping them inside of it. And then what I did was I just created a small stockpile, warehouse. Yeah, that thing. Just created a small warehouse with the smallest crates possible. No, smallest. There you go. And that was really all I needed. Something like that. Right? So I created this warehouse. I put one worker in it. And just took out that fence. Because the animals aren't bright enough to walk through your storeroom. Just make sure that they're sealed in on the edges. There you go. So the animals won't go through your warehouse, and they're trapped in this pen. And you got one guy here, and this warehouse you set to nothing but eggs. One guy working there, and when they lay their eggs, they'll lay them in this area, and he works really close by, and he'll pick them up off the ground. Eventually, they die off, but I think in my test game, I got 90 eggs out of them before I even built a pasture, just by doing this little trick. So you don't kill them. You just have to be a little patient. So you set this up early, and you wait. And I think once every year or 2 years or whatever, they'll lay some of those eggs, and your guy will pick them up and put them in storage. So I found that to be pretty reliable, and like I said, I think I got 90 eggs before I ever built a pasture in the new city. And again, I'll show you that in another video. But yeah, those were a couple of tips that I wanted to give you. It kind of helped for the fast start, I suppose. So yeah, we're going to continue with this city. I'm probably going to have to put in some more food production. And man, that cloth is killing me. Clothes is killing me. Everything, well, fish, yeah, as the population grows, and I only have that small fishing spot. But yeah, everything else is looking good. As far as food is fantastic. I probably need some more kitchens, but the walls are working okay. I left this gap over here because I worried about Crawl coming, because he comes in off this corner a lot, and I was afraid that if he had to go too far up and around and down, that he would just opt to go through the wall. And this is fairly defensible. I'll probably bring this arm back out here to to keep this as a choke point and keep him from wandering around once he gets in here. So since this is my muster point over here, I can go this way and meet him, or I can go that way and meet him without too much difficulty. So I haven't had any any major failures like I had in the last one since I set this up. So yeah, that was just a couple tips I wanted to share with you on this village. I'll probably check in one more time on this one. I want to get to 2,000 and see how the tax stuff works. But I won't spend a lot of time on this village just because I can't sell anything unless this changes over time. Again, to for them to start buying some of these things that they aren't buying right now, then I think I waited too long to start the trade. So yeah. So I hope y'all had a good weekend, and I hope y'all are enjoying Songs of Six as much as I am. Until next time, everybody, happy gaming.